Yugi's legendary decks being reprinted on the 27th of May. This gives us some of the most iconic cards used in the anime, but what card from this set leads to the strongest and most competitive deck? This is going to be the start of a mini-series around Yugi's legendary decks. Looking at the card list, I divided the cards into 9 main archetypes. These archetypes are Exodia, the God cards, Gadgets, Blackluster Soldier, Buster Blader, Dark Magician, Magnet Warriors, Silent Magician and Swordsman, and Guy the Fierce Knight. The challenge is to build the most competitive deck for each of these archetypes to see which archetype comes out on top.
It's time to do.
So guys, second episode of the Yugi's Legendary Deck series that I'm running. Obviously the 9 decks, this is the second one that's coming out. This deck's going to be Buster Blader. It's going to be Buster Blader Dogmatika, or Bladematica, as I'm liking to call it right now. So this is a bit of a change up from the first one from Silent Magician. This deck actually sort of works to a better extent, and actually could be almost meta because of the Dogmatic cards carry it really well. But we'll move over into the card by card. So we played 2 Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman, instead of just Buster Blader, because this has the effect. We can get a monster, if it destroys a monster, then you can bring the monster back from the opponent's graveyard and equip it, and then you can activate the effect to destroy all monsters with that same type. So it's really good against matchups like with dinosaurs and stuff like that. And then we played 2 Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. That's for Buster Lock there. It's back at unlimited, so I mean, we're only playing 2 of, but it's you see how the synergy is going to work here. 3 Buster Whelp of a Destruction Sword. This is the surge for the deck. Allows you to get your trap cards, your Buster Blader trap cards, and allows you to get your Buster Lock on. And then we'll go over to the Dogmatika package. We're playing 1 Fleur-de-Lis, 1 Maximus, 2 Ecclesia. Obviously, because we've got Punishment, we use Ecclesia to search it. And then we can use Maximus and Fleur-de-Lis. A really good package. Really enjoy the Dogmatika package. And then we'll go over to hand traps. So we're playing 3 Ash, 3 Gamma, and obviously the driver. So that's the Cypher package. So now we'll move over into the spells. Obviously, same with the Dogmatic package. We'll play 3 Nadir Servant. We'll play a 1-for-1. Obviously, because the Buster Destruction Swordsman cards are level 1, so it's really good. 3 Prosperity. The extra deck quite important here, but so I usually try and banish 3 cards, but it's just to try and dig deep if we don't have the package that we want at the time. It allows us to get there. It's just such a good card. Call by the Grave, just in case we get met with any hand traps. Then we're playing 2 Destruction Sword Memories. Allows us to fusion summon and especially summon a Buster Blader from deck, which is really good. Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman allows us to special summon a Buster Dragon from the deck. Then it's destroyed during the end phase of the next turn, and it's got a protection effect in the graveyard when you can banish it. But it's really good. It allows you to get Buster Dragon out on the field, and once Buster Dragon hits the field, all your opponents want to become Dragon, which then has great synergy with Destruction Sword Memories if you can get out Buster Blade of a Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, because then it changes all your opponent's cards to defense position, and Destruction Swordsman goes up to like 7,000 attack. It's so good. We're playing 3 Trap Trick, because we're playing so many trap cards. It's just really useful to have. 2 Punishment, from obviously the Dogmatica package. 1 Schism. This goes hand in hand with Dogmatika now. You see Shadol Dogmatika running around, and invoke Shadol Dogmatika. But Schism's really good because it allows us access to Winder, Construct, and Apicalone. And obviously it's searchable from Apicalone as well. So you see the synergy in the deck now. It's a very trap heavy deck. It's mainly interruptions. You go first, you put your traps down, you get your Buster Dragon out, and you try and get your Buster Lock and your Winder out on the field, and that's how it's going to play. I play 3 Judgment as well. I did think about playing when I was thinking about cutting maybe a Trap Trick and putting a Strike in as well, and playing 2 Judgment, 2 Strike, but I just like Judgment a lot better than I like Strike. Yeah, it just allows a lot more protection. So we'll go over to the extra deck as well. So 1 Construct, obviously for Schism. 2 Titaniclad. Obviously that will come off the Servant, send it to the graveyard, or the Maximus sending it. So then we can add a Dogmatika card to our hand. 1 App Clone. This is purely here to be able to get the Schism. So we'll send that off like a Servant or a Maximus, so we can get to it. Winder, literally the one card that's dividing opinion at the minute is if it was going to be banned. Don't see why it would be. There's a lot of ways to out the card. It's not as big as Dragoon, but this card is just seeing a lot of play at the minute, and everyone's getting a bit annoyed about it. We're playing Free Entus, obviously because we're playing Punishment, and it's the best type of Punishment. It allows you Punishment to go +2 because you can destroy 2 cards instead of just 1. Busterblade Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, obviously it's really good. If you're getting a Buster Dragon out, this becomes absolutely crazy because it inflicts piercing damage and it gains 1000 attack for each Dragon monster they control. So if they've got 3 monsters on the field, it's going to gain 3000 attack. It's crazy good. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. We're playing this because we're playing Buster Dragon, obviously being a Synchro Dragon, and we're playing the tuners for the Buster Dragon, and so this is really good to go into, especially since Buster Dragon leaves on the next end phase. It's really good to go into when we can get back to our turn, and then we can special summon another tuner back. So it's really good. 2 Buster Dragon. I'm thinking maybe this could be free, because sometimes you do run out of targets. Obviously we're playing free of a prologue, but yeah, it's really good. It allows you to special summon a Buster Blader, and then on your opponent's turn you can equip your Buster Blader with the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. So that's really good. As long as it's in the graveyard, it has to be specific. 1 Protector Wallpaper Destruction Sword. Don't often make this, but if it is good when you can get to it. You can special summon a Buster Blader from hand, and it's just really good. You can send 1 Destruction Sword card to the graveyard, so if you send memories you can go into, because obviously this card's going to have to hit the graveyard before you can banish the fusion materials, so that'll be really good. So it has its effects like that. We're playing a Link Karibo and Secure Gardener package. This is mainly to get an extra deck monster into the graveyard for like Maximus and Schism, because obviously Link Karibo is dark, so it will get Secure Gardener, will get Link Karibo into the graveyard. So it's really good. So that's the line. That's the sort of play we go into, because obviously you start sometimes off with Buster Up Destruction Swordsman, and you'll go into Karibo, into Gardener, end the phase on loads of traps set at the back. You can activate Schism, and you can or activate Punishment, activate Schism. You can send up Cologne, and you've got your targets in graveyard already. So it'll be really good. And then on your side deck, I've got the Dragoon package. I've seen when I was looking for like the most competitive version of Buster Blader, everyone was seemed to side in Dragoon. I actually don't think the deck needs it. I can sort of understand it because it makes every deck sort of meta now, but I actually don't think this deck needs it right now. I think the deck should be more. It's very control based, and that's the way it should stay. The Dogmatika package makes the deck very control based, and the trap cards allow you to be controlling of the field, and you sort of play on your opponent's turn as much as you play on your turn. So it's really good. But yeah, that's the rundown of the cards. Obviously one by one, and we'll see how it fares in the games. It's actually, I think the deck's rather good. I really enjoy. This is my first time probably using Dogmatika as the package, and I've got to say it's really good. And this is the first time as well including the Shadal engine in the extra deck as well. But I would recommend it. It's really good, really strong. But yeah, I'll let you have a look into the games and see what we can do with the deck. So we've seen the deck list. Now moving on into the first game. You see we draw a load of traps. We set all the traps. No monster on the field. Guy activates Cyber Emergency. We activate Prologue. We send Destruction Sword and the Buster Blade Destruction Sword to the graveyard. It's chain Cyber Emergency, so we can get Buster Dragon out. We see him add the Cyber Dragon. Sets back row. It'll be interesting to play because obviously Cyber Dragons really like the extra deck. Special summons Cyber Dragon. We Judgment Mat to get rid of it. Leave him where he gets Nasher onto field now. got another judgment. we're not looking for life points here. 2,000 points left. But that'll be the turn. We'll activate Buster Dragon to bring back Buster Blader. If it'll go through here. DNA Surgery is activated. Everything becomes machine, so that'll be for the Chimera Tech, Mega Fleet Dragon. A big super body target. We'll activate Dragon Buster Destruction Sword now. And we'll attach it to the Buster Blader. Now they're locked out of the extra deck, can't special summon from the extra deck, which is really good. We'll send an Apple Clone here of Servant. We'll add the Ecclesia to hand. Obviously we'll activate to add Schism. Discard the Buster. We'll set Schism. We'll activate Ecclesia. Then with Ecclesia we'll get a punishment. We'll set the punishment and we'll proceed to battle, do the 2,600, do the 1,500, proceed to main phase 2, end phase. Buster Dragon's gone because it only goes to the end phase of the next turn it's summoned after the prologue. They'll summon core, will change Schism. They'll activate, we'll activate punishment as well. We'll send Entis from punishment, and then we'll chain the Entis, we'll pop the Via, we'll then chain the Buster Blader, get him a core, and then we'll get Buster Blader again to the activation, and we'll get Via. They'll activate Rev System, special summon the Cyber Dragon. We'll proceed to battle, they'll attack over our Ecclesia, but from here I don't see what they're going to do from here. Get a Servant in hand as well now, which is really cool. Activate the Servant. We'll send another Entis. We'll get him well, we could get a Maximus or a Fleur de Lis. We'll get a Maximus. We'll activate Entis. We'll pop the DNA Surgery. We'll activate Maximus. Banish him the Entis. Activate Maximus again. Send Entis and Titaniclad. See if it's waiting for him to send his targets. Send his targets. We'll activate Entis. Pop the Cyber Dragon. But he's going to surrender instead. So that's the first game over. Going into the second game, similar setup. We've got a lot of traps, Schism, punishment, and I think we had prologue as well. We'll get Ecclesia normal summons, so we can get Fleur de Lis to hand. And then we'll end our phase. Obviously the deck isn't looking to combo off, because that's not what the deck's about. We'll activate Prosperity. Give us a good look at what they're playing. We'll chain prologue and we'll activate to get Buster Dragon. They're playing dinosaurs, which is really good for us because Buster Dragon changes all cards the opponent controls to Dragon, which will be key for us here. Obviously with Misk, because have you read Misk? We'll summon a monk. We'll activate punishment on the monk. We won't chain it. We will send. Look and see what we're going to send here. We'll send a construct. I've sent the construct because of a Schism. But I don't think it's. I still think it's live. I don't think we've got the right materials in the graveyard for it. So they'll summon Archosaur. We'll activate Fleur de Lis here. Get Fleur de Lis into field. Obviously, we can negate the effects of Archosaur now. They'll link Archosaur off. Link Karibo. And obviously, this is going to be probably the UCT play now. Yeah, we see the Double Evolution Pill come down. We'll see UCT come down, which is it's a big killer for us right now, because UCT pretty much wipes our board. We'll activate Prologue. It can't protect anyway because Buster Dragon's not a destruction sword. I think that'd be if it was Buster Dragon Destruction Sword, that'd be so much better because then it would get the protection from the trap card effect, which would be so much nicer. Obviously, we only take half damage because of the activated Prosperity. We actually draw an Ecclesia here, so we're still looking good. Summon the Ecclesia, Hopefully we don't get chained. Yep, no, we get punishment, which is really good. Because we'll be able to pop off next turn, because we'll be able to send an Entus, hopefully. We'll just check in Graveyard to see what we've got. We'll set the Entus, we'll activate the Maximus, we'll send the Buster Dragon. See if he's going to chain. I don't think he'll chain. No. We'll get the Maximus now onto the field. We'll activate Maximus. They'll chain UCT, but we'll still be able to activate Maximus here. So we'll send an Entus and an Abclone. Abclone sending here was silly because we're just going to be adding Abclone back to the graveyard here. So we don't chain the Abclone. Obviously, because I don't know what we should have sent Titaniclad there, because we'd be able to get Fleur-de-Lis least to hand. But we'll end phase there. Obviously not on lot right now. We'll activate Schism though, and we'll get Winder, which is the power play right now. And then we'll, from the Schism effect, obviously if it's same attribute, so we'll send it over up to the graveyard. We'll activate another Prosperity here. We'll just check what we've banished, what we've still got in the graveyard, seeing what resources we've got. We've still got punishment set, so we're still looking very, really good right now. We've got a Winder out on the field. We'll be able to flip our Dogmatika cards back over. They'll activate Monster Reborn. And I'm not going to lie, from here onwards, we don't actually see them choose. Oh no, we do see them choose. We're choosing over Raptor. We'll activate punishment. And we'll send a Titaniclad. Just so that we can get a Dogmatic card to hand. They'll activate Misk. But Winder blocks it. Easy as that. Winder right now, so good. This turn, so we're going to summon well, add Prologue as well, get the Prologue to hand, go into Link Karibo, go into Secure Gardener. Nice and easy. So we've got 4 set, 4 back row, and a Secure Gardener. We'll activate Foolish Barrier Goods, and we would chain Prologue. We'll send the Destruction Sword and the Buster Blader, get Buster Dragon out onto the field. We'll send Destiny here and Malicious, but activate Malicious. We won't chain on the Malicious activation. They'll get Malicious to the field now. Then they'll summon Phantom Knight. I think it's Torn Scales and there's Boots. So we see Silent Boots go down, so we could see into a rank 3 play here. Maybe Raiders Knight. No, we'll activate Memories. We'll pitch the Destruction Sword. We'll get Buster Blade out into the field. Now, because it's still our opponent's turn here, they've activated Brigandine. We'll activate Memories as well. And we'll equip Buster Blader with the Dragon Buster. We'll get the Fusion Buster Blader as well onto the field, and obviously because Buster Dragon changed all of them to Dragon types, and Buster Blader's Fusion effect is to change all Dragon types to defense position, and it gains 3000 attack, so we're all good. Going into the next game now, we're starting off with Prosperity. Prosperity is always awkward because we don't really know what we want to send, because our extract's really, really important. We'll see we're chatting in the corner. We had a really long game of rock, paper, scissors to figure out who was going to go first. And this guy literally just started his collection of Yu-Gi-Oh today. We send Titaniclad. We're going to get an Ecclesia here. We'll activate Ecclesia because we want to get a Fleur-de-Lis because we've already got punishment set. The guy got some new cards. I will add Fleur-de-Lis to hands. Just asking the guy, see what cards he got. Hopefully not Ghost from Past, because so it's pretty dire. I mean, unless you pull a ghost. There you got Peck Maximum Gold. Lovely collection. Still trying to figure out what his cards are going to play. Obviously, the current situation is with Secure Gardener and the Ecclesia 4 back row set. This is the control basis of this deck is those trap cards are really key. So half his Sober Dust is a big issue for the deck. Obviously, we can chain as much as we can try to, but it is pretty killer. I played one game against a deck that sided in Royal Decree. And the deck does, it's always like in the Yugi World Championships when Denko Seka was played. Seemed like it was pulled out of nowhere. And so we'll summon Maju, and we'll Solemn Judgment that. We don't want to see them get those ritual spells. And then we'll activate Prologue. We'll send the cost, we'll get a Dragon. We've still got the Dragon Buster in hand as well. Obviously, we keep trying to come out of main phase. We're just not letting it. So we see Memories activated now. We'll activate to get a Buster Blade onto the field, and then we'll activate Memories in the graveyard to Fusion Summon. We'll send the Dragon Buster Well, and there we go. We'll Fusion Summon the Dragon Destroyer. He keeps asking why I can't end phase. Actually, because we keep chaining our trap cards to it. But from here, I don't see a way back. We'll activate Buster Dragon as well, and we'll summon Dragon Buster to equip. So now they will definitely be locked out of their extra deck. But these are the sort of boards that we like to see, because then we're going to get a trap trick here. We don't need it, we've got enough on board. Just telling him that he wanted to see the deck, and I was just giving me telling him that he was going to feature on the channel. We'll activate Fleur de Lis here. Get Fleur de Lis onto the field, won't activate its effect obviously. And then we're going to proceed to battle. And we've definitely got enough on board here to do this. Secure Gardener. Dogmatika Recluse will activate Fleur de Lis to get the attack boost for the Dogmatic cards. And there we go. Easy that. It's just a power. You can get a lot onto the board really easily with this deck, because the Dogmatic cards are really quite good to get out onto the field at all times. Shameless plug in bottom left corner. We'll love to see it. Moving on now, we're going to our last game of the episode. We're starting against Cyberdarks. I think this is with their new support as well. So this is a pre-structure deck, post-structure deck actually, sorry. So some of the cards we haven't, they're very OCG cards right now, but should be seeing these in the coming months, which would be cool. And obviously being with this structure deck as well. Hopefully we'll get Lightning Storm and Imperm, but Konami, let's see if we can actually get that, and it's not like Foolish Burial Goods and like Monster Reborn. But the hope is there. So you see them go through their plays, get into Power Bond. And they'll get out Cyber Eternity Dragon, which is a big body. Obviously if they take the half damage for Power Bond, we'll put a set of Judgment, set of Trap Tricks, activate a 1-for-1 here, go into Buster Well. Buster Well obviously doesn't trigger on Special Summon, which is really annoying. I think it'd be great if it did. We'll go into a Secure Gardener play. But yeah, if it was good on Special Summon, that'd be great. We'll activate Prologue here, ditching the Buster Blader and the Dragon Buster. They'll summon Cyberdark, Chimera. We'll Judgment it, we'll activate Trap Trick, and we'll send a punishment to get a punishment set. They'll send a Keel, because it seems it's pure, like a pure Cyberdark, and they'll get the Mega Fleet. We'll activate punishment, and we'll send Titaniclad on the basis of next turn. Hopefully we'll be able to draw. So we'll get the Titaniclad here. We'll I think we go for the Maximus here to try and get as much out of the turn as possible. We'll activate Maximus. We'll pitch the Link Kuribo. Get Maximus out of the field. Activate Maximus. Pitch Apiclone and Titaniclad. Don't know why we pitched Apiclone again. Always forget about the cost of Apiclone. If I was to misplay this deck, this is the biggest misplay that I make all the time, because I had Schism, and I've realised here when I've done it, I had Schism, I have to send Schism. But then we'll activate Titaniclad here, and we'll pick up a Fleur de Lis, which will be good because we can negate the effect of a maybe even of a Cyber Return to Dragon. We'll activate Trap Trick, and we'll send Prologue to get another Prologue. We'll change Cyber Return to Dragon to defense. We'll activate Prologue. We'll send Dragon Buster and Buster Blader. We'll get the Buster Dragon onto the field. And then go back into our turn. We'll get a Prosperity here. We'll activate Buster Dragon to get a Buster Blader. Get Buster Blader onto our field. We'll Prosperity here. We'll banish 3 just because that's the easier one, because we can send our cards that we're not going to use at all. And we'll get a Destruction Sword Memories. We'll activate Buster Whelp here, because we can pitch from our hand, but then we'll also activate Memories at the same time, chaining, and we'll get Destruction Swordsman onto the field, and obviously because Buster Dragon's on the field, the Dragon types, so we'll go into the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, we'll hit over, we'll activate Buster Blader's effect as well. Obviously the effect of Cyber Return to Dragon is good, so we'll get Keel onto the field. We'll then attack over, not Keel, Core, then we'll get Core equipped as well. Go into the main phase 2. We'll then phase Buster Dragon gets sent to the graveyard, but that's okay because that makes room for Fleur de Lis to come out onto the field if we need it. We'll activate Core. We'll see Nasha come down now. Fleur de Lis activates. They'll activate Cyberblade Fusion. We see the Rampage. We negate the Rampage. We see the Chimera come down as well. We see the Galaxy Soldier now. So we're going to look like we're going for an Infinity play. We'll activate the Prologue to protect our Dragon Buster, not Dragon Buster, our Destruction Sword cards. So we've still got a chance to destroy the Fusion Buster Blader, unfortunately, no matter if we chain it or not. We'll head into battle. Can't attack anything. We can activate to send the kill, and we were baiting out the negation of that, because then we can activate Maximus, send Entis, and Construct. And we can activate Entis, getting rid of a Cyber Dragon Infinity, activate Construct to get Schism back to hand. We can set Schism, we can reposition, head to battle, get in for enough damage, and that's the deck. And the gameplay, we're going to go into, like last time, some strengths and weaknesses of the deck, how competitive the deck actually is, do I think it's a viable option right now, and my final thoughts on how I think the deck works and what could make the deck better. Yeah, so we're getting into that now. So that was the deck profile and some gameplay. Quickly run over some strengths and weaknesses right now. So we'll move on to the strengths right now. The Dogmatika package is crazy good, crazy consistent. Ecclesia, Fleur de Lis, and Maximus are so good. In this deck, it does provide a lot of consistency to the deck, and the control of the game is always in your hands. You've always got the ability to chain traps on their turn, do it on your turn. So many different lines of play. The Buster Blader cards are actually really, really strong. like the Destruction Swordmaster and the Dragon Destroyer, the Fusion, and Buster Dragon, and the tuners with level 1s. Really good, have really good effects, be able to search. So the Buster Blader cards are actually really good, and they work really, really well. This deck allows you to play whatever hand traps you would like, because you aren't playing too many monsters. It allows for a good hand trap package. That's why you can see we play in this a Gamma and an Ash Blossom, which is really good, but it's up to personal preference. You could side out a Lancia, you could side out a Droll. There's lots of potential for the hand traps. The trap package is also really good. We play, obviously it's great trap control, but you could play whatever traps you wanted. Obviously you play the Buster Blader traps and a Schism. The rest is personal preference. You can make it really trap heavy. I actually think the deck could probably do well in an Eldritch setup as well. If you didn't want to run Dogmatika, you could play Eldritch Buster Blader, which could be really good. Obviously Winder. Winder's really cool in the meta right now. Everyone's talking about it being banned because it's such an oppressive card right now, but it's easy to add, I think. It's just annoying. But we've got great access to Winder in this, and also we've also got great access to the Buster Lock, which has come back recently since Union Carry got banned. Rest in peace. But yeah, the Buster Lock is full effect in this deck. Really easy to get to with Memories and Buster Dragon. So yeah, that's a really good effort. If you get Winder on a Buster Lock, there your opponent's pretty much lost the game right there. There's two different lines to play. You've got Dogmatika, and then you've obviously got your Buster Blader. So there's options for you to go into whatever you would like. The deck gives you synergy between both of them. Dogmatika gives great synergy with Buster Blader because you can send stuff to the graveyard and discard memories off Aqualone's effect, activate memories with before activating Schism. So that's really good. Nadir's Servant is so good in this deck. I know the card's so expensive, but I actually think Dogmatika is worth picking up now. Because Servant, sending like an Entis or sending a Titaniclad to get either a pop or to get a card into your hand like Fleur de Lis for your opponent's turn is so good. This deck right now matches very well against meta like Dinosaurs struggle because of a Buster Dragon, turn them all to Dragon types on the field. Matches up, has a cool matchup against Eldritch because obviously they're both trap control decks. But you sort of see a difference with this one because you can the extra deck package works better here because of a Dogmatika, so I actually think this matches very well against Eldritch right now. And obviously like Prank Kids is seen on the rise, but having Winder and a Buster Lock being able to go first and getting that up on their opponent's turn, their Prank Kids monsters aren't going to do much unless they can out that. So right now I actually think the deck's super strong. It has lots of levels to this deck. This is like 3 times, maybe 4 times as good as a Silent Magician deck, Silent Magician and Silent Swordsman deck that we did first. This deck is looking crazy. Weaknesses, we'll go over that. Going second can cause issues. Obviously we want to set a board up of traps, and if they manage to get like a Denko Sekiro out or something that's like negates everything, so if they get like a Dragoon or say if you're playing Adamantipator, if you get a Dragite, a Dragoon, a Miru Guardian, and they have like an Appaloosa as well. Appaloosa doesn't cause too many issues unless we have to normal summon our Whelp. But Going Second can cause issues. It's reliant on searches. If they activate like a Troll and Lockbird, or they ask Bottom Servant, obviously the Servant will activate as much as it can, so it will still send. But it is awkward. Going second does cause issues because you haven't got that big play at the start. It just causes slight more difficulty to get a line of play, and that's why relying on searches is also key. It struggles against Floodlights. This is mainly just because Royal Decree, Imperial Order, Denko Sekiro, things like that will make the deck hard because you're so reliant on the traps to go through. You're so reliant on them to work because if you don't have you might not even find a monster first turn or second turn, and you'll only be seeing traps. You need those to hit off to be able to have any sort of play style. Lancia will cause issues as well because most of the Buster Blader cards have an effect in the graveyard. If they are banished, it becomes so much harder to get those to work. So like memories and prologue, they have graveyard effects, can cause issues. A Dogmatic mirror match is in here because if obviously we're constantly sending things to the graveyard and making them send from Maximus, if they also have a package like Entis in their extra deck, they will also get the effects. That's why that's in there, because if they side out, maybe, hear me out, if they side into a Dogmatika package, because they know you're going to be playing Dogmatika because it's so prevalent right now in the meta, they could have an Entis package in their side deck and side it in, and you're going to struggle because they're going to get pops as well. And lastly, it has lack of OTK. Obviously we're not getting a lot of damage on board at all times because we're controlling the thing, but this, if they were to draw into like a Royal Decree, you would struggle. But altogether, I think the deck's super strong. The deck's really good. Super crazy, super consistent, really good against meta. I actually think the deck's really good. Might be, I actually think one of the better decks we're going to use in this mini-series. But yeah, I would definitely give the deck a go. If you make any changes to the deck, let me know what you'd change. I think there is a couple of things that I think maybe some of the ratios could have changed. But yeah, let me know, see if you want to test the deck out. I'll get you a link to the deck in the comments if you want it. Yeah, let me know if you've enjoyed it. Thanks guys for watching. See you later.